Hi guys. Okay, so let's talk about the extra credits in Chem 30A, Chem 006, Chem 007, and the similar courses that are of introductory, general organic and biochemistry courses. So the students who are in the medical field and who are also going in the nursing programs who take this introductory chemistry course, for them, these extra credits are there. So these are not the extra credits for Chem 1A programs, but only for the students in the Chem 30A and that level. So what are these extra credits? So first of all, these are the different assignments that allow you to look at the concepts from different perspectives. Okay. You also have the opportunity to learn the concepts that relate to your learning style. Okay, so you can be as creative as you want, as colorful, as artistic, you can even use media, whatever works for you. Okay, so these extra credits are going to help you move from D to a C. C can become a B and B can become a A only on that assignment. Okay, since there is work involved in the extra credits, so I'm just making it optional, so it's up to you, but that opportunity is there for you to improve your grade. Okay, but work is involved. So what kind of work? Let's look at it. Okay, so the detailed explanation of the extra credits is in the Canvas. So you go to your course, you go to the introductory module, and in the introductory modules, you will see these pages that explain to you the specifics. So I'm just going to give you a broad overview of what these extra credits are and how they look like. So anyway, so here you see on the left-hand side is the explanation of the term paper, mind maps, and the presentations. Then let's talk about first the midterm extra credits. These are the worked examples. Now, some books, since I'm teaching all these different courses in different colleges also, so there are different books for, the same course. And regardless, whether it's a Timberlake book or if it is a Stoker book or it is an online book, it doesn't matter. Every book, in every chapter, there are worked examples, okay? These worked examples are the solved examples. They're already done for you within the chapter. So when you are reading, you can miss them. If you read, you will see those chapters are inside the chapters. There are boxes, and sometimes those boxes are colored. So those colored boxes will have the steps shown how that problem is solved. So what you are going to do is now on a separate sheet of paper, you are going to write down you're going to write down the same problem, show it, solve it, and then check it. That's all you need to do. And then after that, take picture of it and upload it here in Canvas. Okay. So I'm going to show you here an example how it looks like in this book, Karen C. Timberlake's book. Okay, so this is the 5th edition that we are using at Chabot College and also at the Berkeley City College. And we see that these books are very nice, colorful books, and very beautifully they've explained all these these concepts, and you can't miss them. So I highly encourage you to first of all read all these concepts, and then as you read, you can miss it. You are going to see a sample problem. There is a question here in each of these sample problems. So write down the question and start solving it on a separate sheet of paper. Later on, go back and look at the solution. How are these done? So this is one, and they have already shown you step by step. And I'm going to show you a few more examples from this chapter 6 here. Very interesting. Here is a sample problem of one chapter. This is on the stoichiometry. And here they have given you the problem. Write this problem on a separate sheet of paper. Handwriting is preferred because if you type, then you make mistakes. And when it's, with the subscript. So there are lots of subscripts and, in chemistry. But anyway, so you see, here's a solution. So this steps is explained to you. So those students who are finding it difficult to solve the problem on their own can refer to these steps and then just try to do it. Please do not try to copy. Okay. But when you do these steps, and then later on, you can see the final answer is, is right there on this. So the whole idea of giving you this assignment is to help you be an independent learner. Okay. Not only gain the mastery by, obviously you're reading and you're practicing, this is a kind of a practice, but at the same time, you become an independent learner. You learn how to solve the problems because everything is explained very nicely in these. So this was an example from the Karen Timberlake's book, but I'm going to also show you for my students at the Las Positas College how these worked examples look like from the chapters in the Stoker book. So hang in for a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the example from Stoker's book. And this is again in the middle of every chapter. You can't miss it. When you start reading, you will see, you see this? You will see these worked examples. They're already done to you. So here it's not using the word worked, but you can miss the solutions. The solution right there. The solution is given, and all you need to do is you are going to do them on a separate sheet of paper and just refer to the steps and just double check your answers. Okay, so every chapter roughly has about like 8, 9, sample problems depending upon how many sections there are. But pretty much for test 1, you will have, if there are 2, 3 chapters in test 1, then you combine all of the work from every chapter, take pictures of it, combine them as a PDF, upload in Canvas. Okay, and that's how I'm going to look at it. When are they due? They are due on the day of the test. So your ideal strategy should be that first thing, do the extra credits. I mean, if I were you, I would do them. This is practice. Okay. Anyways, do the extra credits, then do the homework, then do the quizzes, and then by this time you should be prepared for your exam. Okay, and then come and take the exam and see how it goes. So these extra credits are due on the day of the test. Okay, but if you give me after, then I'll deduct points. All right. All right, so now let's look at the term paper. Okay, so now for again Chem 38 students, and this is a Stoker book. So you see here in these, you see on the side, on the side, when you see this side or, on this side, and then you also see that these are written in the bold and also in the italics, right? So these are the examples of term paper. And I'm going to show you more examples of the term paper. I mean, not the term paper, sorry. These are the key terms, sorry. Key terms from every chapter, okay? So this was what I showed you, the italics and, on the sides, these are just the main, definitions, you can say. Now I'm going to show you in another book how they look like. So hang in for a minute. Okay, so this is the key terms that are present in the, again, Karen Timberlake's book on general organic and biochemistry. And, similar key terms are also either listed at the back of every chapter or on the sides of the, chapter, like every section in the chapter, or they can be even in the bold. So you just have to kind of figure it out on your own, like which one looks like a definition. Okay, so these key terms, these are actually important concepts. They have generally they're 1 or 2 lines, their definitions are there. And I prefer that you also bring in some of the examples. Okay, I prefer. Okay, and so that way you can see the better relationship. But anyways, so what are you going to do with these key terms? You are going to look at these key terms from every chapter. You are going to pick 10 key terms minimum. You can go maximum as many as you want, but a minimum of 10 key terms every chapter. Every chapter, 10 key terms. There are more than 10, in every chapter, but these key terms, you can see them either listed at the back of this chapter, or you can also see them, as I said, like sometimes they are, in bold within the chapter. So best is you write in your own handwriting on a separate sheet of paper, on a blank sheet of paper, in your own handwriting. I prefer that. Unless you like to type, that's also okay, but just make sure that you are not copying. Again, no copying. Okay, and I trust you that you will do the right thing. So anyway, so pick these key terms, write them down on a separate sheet of paper. There are 10 chapters. 11th is optional, or sometimes, the 5th is optional, depending. The chapter on the nuclear chemistry is optional, but the rest, all the other chapters you're going to do. So just keep this in mind that 10 chapters, 10 key terms from every chapter, it all totals up to be 100 key terms. So when you leave Chem 30A, or when you leave Chem 006 or 007 or all those introductory courses, you have mastered, I'm hoping, 10 key, at least 100 key terms. If you do the absolute worst in this course, I mean, at least you have the basic knowledge of those concepts. So that is at least the whole idea of putting the term paper. So now let us say you have missed an exam and you have done poorly on that exam and you want to improve the grade. So I don't give makeups on the exams, but this is the way you can improve the grade on that particular midterm exam or midterm test. Okay, so that was this. Now I'm going to show you one example. You can be very creative. You can whichever way you like, but I want to show you one example of and let's see if we can see. Okay, uh, this is a very nice example of a ketone. So again, like I said, you can be as creative as you want, or if you don't want, you can just do it by your hand, or you can type. Just make sure you don't make too much mistakes as far as putting in the subscripts when you're typing. So anyway, so this is an example of a student. This is her ketone. Look at the level of engagement and the involvement and how she has personalized, basically she has personalized her education, I mean her learning from that chapter. So this is from chapter 1, and then temperature. This is chapter 2. You see how interesting, I really like this. Anyways, so this is one. This is another example. So this is chapter 3, how she's presented it. So like that, so this is chapter 4, and this is a keepsake. You can keep it with you till, till look at all these formulas. You put it in this way, So anyway, so this way, be as creative as you want. But this is the one example of a term paper. But you can write a very simple term paper where you've just written it, and make sure you write the examples, and that's it. Okay. So now let's look at the mind maps. Okay, now the last one is the mind maps. So what are mind maps? Mind maps are actually flowcharts, okay? And you see every chapter we talked about key terms. Now you wrote a definition of the key terms, but just the key term itself, let's say you already know the meaning. Here's the thing with chemistry. Chemistry is not a linear subject. That is why it is hard also. All these concepts are all scattered here and there, everywhere. They're all just scattered. What you learn in chapter 1, 2, and 3, you're going to need it, in chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, and even in your next classes. So it's like, it's all very scattered. So how do you make sense of this, this craziness? So what do? You connect these concepts and show them and understand their connectivity in a flowchart. Okay, so again, you can be creative here as you like, but I'll show you simple flowcharts. I'll show you the templates that you can use, and I'm going to show you the work of a student. I mean, he created very wonderful mind maps, which actually inspired me to create my Instagram so that I can showcase his work. So I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so here you see these. This is a technique, and it's a technique to see the connectivity in different different concepts. So this is a Buzan's mind map. He was the originator of the mind maps. So here you see only one word, one or two words, and they're all connected. So this is one example. This is another one. Now this is more cluttered. I don't want cluttered mind maps. If you feel that you're getting a mind map that is too cluttered, you can use a separate sheet of paper and like make it more. The whole idea is to show clarity in your mind. So it's basically a more visual way of looking at the connections. Okay, so this is one way. So you see how they branch, how these ideas branch, and you can use this mind maps in your biology, physics, or any other, even in your personal life, you can use it. So basically, it's an imagery technique. So this is one. Now, here are some of the templates I'm giving you. Um, Final exam mind maps right here, and these are the templates. So this is just to give you an idea. Okay, you can just simply write down the main idea from that chapter. Okay, for example, the chapter on atoms. So you can write down here atoms in the middle where it says templates. Now what do you know about the atoms? They are made up of protons, neutrons, electrons, those things you can put. They have energy levels, and then they have these shells and subshells and orbitals. And you can also write down two electrons are present in one orbital. No need to write. You should not be writing sentences, only bullet points. That is the important piece. Only bullet points. Pictures you can put, that's fine. But so these are just only bullet points. So basically we are just trying to see, okay, this concept is connected to that concept. Ideally you should be putting some questions here, but I don't want to make it harder. As far as you can see, the connectivity, that's all matters. Okay, so this is one idea. This is another type of template. You see, it's more like a tree kind of thing. The third one is more like more branched. So I don't want too much clutter. Okay, this is another one. This is another one. This is another one. So you can create these type of mind maps. Now let's look at some of the mind maps of the students from my previous semester. So hang in for a minute. Okay, so you see here, this is an example of a very beautiful mind map, very visual way. The entire chapter on atoms has been condensed into like one page, and all these different, only one word, and he's shown the whole thing in pictures and colorful, very colorful. So this is one example of a mind map. And let's go back and see, this is another example. Okay, so this student is a very visual student. They learn by pictures, that's their style. But still very clean, and very, it tells everything. Picture is worth more than 1,000 words, basically that's what it is. So I mean, that's one piece. This is another one. Okay, so these are another. You can, this is one style, this one style, but you don't have to. If you're artistic, go for it. I also have another example of another mind map. Is this student. So this student would make, pictures, just draw. They didn't do the connection, but I really, really, really admired all their work. So they would show in their own way. Like for example, this one is, I believe this was time, and this is the energy. Whatever works for you, go with that. This is another example. So this students like a lot of color. Okay, so this is one way they have shown. You see, only one word. You see, another, only one or two words, but the connection. Now you can see the same types of flow charts in your books also. These are like all the flow charts or flow diagrams in your books. In your every chapter has it. And I'm trying to see where, give me 1 minute. Um, Where did it go? Okay, here, sorry. Okay, so every chapter has it, and I'll just show you. Generally, it's behind the chapter, like here. Okay, now I don't want you to copy. That's the thing. So the whole idea of these are, don't copy them just because they are listed here. These concept maps are listed here, and you start copying them and putting them, somewhere. That's not what I want. But the whole idea is, to help you see these concepts. Okay, so that's about it. So let's just go back to um, 10 points, final exam, mind maps. How many mind maps? There are 10 chapters, so 10 or 11 chapters, so 10 or 11 mind maps. So basically one mind map per chapter. But if you feel that it's becoming too cluttered, use a different paper, separate sheet of paper. You can do it at the back, but just make it nice and clean so that you can, from a distance, you can clearly see what is the meat in that chapter, right? Looking at the mind map alone. Okay, so that's your mind map. I want 10 pages. That's one mind map per chapter. So 10 pages, 10 points, final exam. Okay, that's for the final exam. Then comes the midterm. The midterms, there are two. One is the term paper, which is 100 concepts, right? 10 points will go on the midterms or wherever, I'll see how it goes. Then comes the midterm extra credits, which are the solved problems. Those are 5 points each. Okay, that's going to apply to that particular midterm. So the whole purpose of doing this is to, help you succeed in this course, learn, gain mastery, and, you know, and enjoy chemistry. It's an interesting subject. So enjoy chemistry, and that's all I want. Okay, guys. So, and of course, student success is also paramount, but this is an opportunity you have. So avail of it. All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.